Hey guys, I'm back. I'm sorry I haven't posted a video in a while and whatever. And I've just been a little busy. I haven't really found the right time to record. Before I forget about this, I want to say a couple of things. One, shout out to my cousin. He really needs the followers. He has a YouTube channel, Ramirez848. That's an uppercase R in the Ramirez part. Yeah, he does some Fortnite montages, and he's gonna be doing daily live streams and stuff. And if you're not into Fortnite, don't worry, he's gonna be doing stuff like Minecraft and I don't know, maybe Among Us or something. But he's gonna do a lot more than just Fortnite and stuff. He's gonna have a lot more video game content for you to watch soon. Also, I'm gonna be forgetting a couple of stuff that's gonna be in this video or whatever, because there's no script or anything like other YouTubers have. This is all just off the top of my head and stuff. If I'm wrong about something, just say so in the comment, and sorry if I'm wrong about something or whatever. But yeah. So today I want to talk about an awesome show that some of you might not remember, some of you might. It's it's an awesome Spider-Man show. If you were born or grew up around the 2000s or the end of the 2000s, then you probably know the show, Spectacular Spider-Man. Probably the best show, like, of all the Spider-Man shows yet. And even though it hasn't gotten its third season because of Disney messing it up, it's still pretty good despite it only has 2 seasons. Yeah. It's a really good show. The only show that I'd say would probably come close to it, or probably tie with it, is the '90s Spider-Man series. Nothing else really comes close to how good that show is. So for those of you who don't know Spectacular Spider-Man, it basically does it's basically about like Peter Parker as Spider-Man, pretty much like any other Spider-Man show, whatever. And but Peter Parker, unlike the '90s series, if that's what you grew up watching, or if you watch any of the newer Spider-Man, which, to be honest, not as good as Spectacular Spider-Man, but that's just my opinion, to be honest. Spider-Man is in high school, not college or out of college or anything like that. And, he's basically just trying to, do whatever he does as Spider-Man. And he's sort of trying to figure out who he is as Spider-Man and, sort of do a little bit of self-discovery. And there's not really much to say about the first season. There is a lot to say technically, but a lot of good stuff. But, to be honest, I'm not really going to want to talk about that and stuff, because it's a lot easier if you just watch the thing yourself. But season 2, it's like probably my favorite season, to be honest, because not only does the series get better and the pacing just gets better and stuff, but it also brings out like one of my favorite Spider-Man, or probably the favorite Spider-Man villain, Venom. So after like Spider-Man defeats like Electro, I think gets introduced with Green Goblin in first season, and does some stuff with the Sinister Six, Sandman, Rhino, and stuff like that. In the second season, it's sort of like a recap, sort of, kind of hard to explain, but basically, Dr. Connors, the guy who becomes the Lizard, in the Spider-Man whole thing, some people from NASA got a spaceship, or spacecraft or whatever, that got back from a space mission, and Venom, the symbiote, was attached to the space hull, and they wanted to fund Dr. Connors so that way he can research it, and Eddie Brock, who in the show is like pretty nice and whatever, and he's not like a jock or anything, or he doesn't work for the Bugle. He just helps Dr. Connors in the show. And in the first season, like, Spider-Man was working for Dr. Connors for a little bit, but it didn't really work out too well. But in the second season, he sort of got fired because he supposedly stole the thing as Spider-Man, and Eddie Brock got mad at him because he was taking pictures for the Bugle, and he thought instead of Peter Parker just, calling the police or whatever, he just wanted to take pictures and send them to the Bugle to make a quick buck. And, and yeah. And so eventually Spider-Man is like, swinging around his Venom. He soon discovers like the symbiotes like sort of make him evil or bad and stuff like that. Eventually Venom gets the suit. A lot of other things happen with Venom. Venom's eventually sort of goes away for a couple episodes, then he comes back. And also the Green Goblin is the whole thing with the Green Goblin is like probably the bigger part of the story, but I'll probably talk about that some other time. Right now, the main thing I just want to talk about, and again, what I was saying is basically just a recap of the whole show, is what I think what would happen if Sony were to still continue the Spectacular Spider-Man show and Disney didn't go effing it up. And I don't want to say curse words because right now I don't want to get demonetized for having my third video out or whatever. But I'll try as much as I can not to curse or whatever, or anything like that. Okay. Anyways, so the way season 2 ended, the Green Goblin supposedly died, and Norman Osborn is just pretending to be someone else. And when you look back into like the comics and, basically just like what your common knowledge of Spider-Man and stuff like that, and you actually watch the show, the Green Goblin is obviously going to come back. And if you haven't noticed, Cletus Cassidy, the guy who is Carnage, is actually spotted in the show, and it is confirmed, I think, by Greg Weisman, the director or writer or whatever of the Spectacular Spider-Man show. I'm like 99% sure he confirmed that with Cletus Cassidy. And I've never seen really any of the interviews, but it's just off the top of my head what I think is going to happen and stuff. And because Cletus Cassidy is in the show, that means Carnage was supposed to be introduced in probably the next season. And Spectacular Spider-Man is supposed to have I thought it was only supposed to have 3 seasons or whatever, but apparently it was supposed to have 5 and a movie. I have no idea what I was going to think of for the movie, but here's what I think of what's going to happen in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. I don't know exactly what's going to happen in what season was supposed to be happening, but this is basically what I think was going to happen. So Carnage gets introduced sort of, I don't know how, probably the same way that Venom did, or he gets reproduced by Venom after he got the gene cleanser in him. Venom will probably eventually get back to Eddie Brock, and by the time that happens, Eddie Brock's in prison, kind of like in the 90s series, and probably Carnage will follow him, or I don't know, maybe Carnage will want to take control of Eddie or something like that, and I guess when Venom finds Eddie first, or something like that happens, Carnage will find Cletus Cassidy, and then there's Carnage, literally, throughout the town. And I don't think there's going to actually be killing in the thing, but he's just going to do a bunch of chaos. And so Carnage is going to be, he's just going to do a bunch of stuff, and Venom, he might be doing some stuff with Carnage, or maybe he's trying to stop him from doing this, or whatever he's going to be doing. And Spider-Man, he's going to have to try and help Venom, or try and stop Carnage by himself, then eventually team up with Eddie and Venom, which I'm pretty sure that might happen in the Venom 2 movie, not sure, but back to Spectacular Spider-Man. After that happens, that's probably gonna pan out through season 3, maybe 4, I'm not too sure. And And then not only will the Green Goblin come into the thing, but I feel like there's gonna be Spider-Man Carnage thing or whatever. Some people think that might happen in the Spectacular Spider-Man show, or was going to happen. Maybe it would have happened or not. I'm not too sure, but I really didn't think it would, and I don't really want it to. Um, but yeah, that's the whole Venom and Spider-Man teaming up against Carnage or whatever and stuff. And so that's the whole thing with Carnage. Then there's the whole Green Goblin thing, which I feel like throughout the thing, Norman Osborn is going to be just sort of hiding throughout the show until eventually he probably comes back in the end of season 3 or the middle of season 3 or maybe even season 4. And then there's the Catwoman thing or whatever, or not Catwoman, Black Cat. I'm sorry if I got those too confused. Yeah, but Black Cat, where we kind of left her off with like sort of hate towards Spider-Man, and it just didn't end that well. So maybe somehow her dad convinces her to forgive Spider-Man, or I don't know. Well, then again, he was left in the jail cell, so who knows? Maybe he escaped or not. But something will probably happen to make them get back together. And I'm sorry if you can't see my face, because to be honest, I'm just trying to. I don't really like looking at the camera, and so yeah. But anyways, so yeah, Spider-Man is gonna probably find some way to make Black Cat his friend again or something, or maybe it's gonna kind of end up like in the newer comics, where like sort of have a love/friendship relationship, sort of goes back to enemies, and then so forth. And then there's the whole Sinister Six thing with Kraven the Hunter, Vulture, Sandman, Rhino, Electro, Doc Ock. With all those, it's probably gonna be like a big team up against Peter throughout the show and whatever. But also, I'm pretty sure if the way I'm thinking, and I'm not sure if this is actually going to happen because this is way before like any of the other. Well, this is actually after the Sam Raimi films, the movies of Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and I'm pretty sure this is before any of the other Spider-Man movies. But Spider-Man: Homecoming, Liz Allen sort of leaves New York or whatever for I don't know what reason. I feel like that might have was supposed to happen after Peter dumped Liz in the show, because again, he wasn't with Mary Jane. They were sort of just like friends, sort of. Gwen had a crush on him, and I guess they were sort of together after, like in the ending of season 2, or maybe she just went to Harry or something. And also, the show is kind of like based off the Sam Raimi films and also part of the comics, so probably how things are supposed to go. But I'm pretty sure, yeah, Liz Allen leaves, and then Gwen, she's obviously gonna die, because, like, in the comics and stuff, or she supposedly dies, but the show probably won't let us, like, it's not gonna be, like, obvious, like, for the little kids. They'll make her think, like, she's in a coma or something, or something like that, and then she dies off and just never gets mentioned again. And I guess it's a good thing for the little kids, but it will be obvious for us adults and whatever and other kids. And then eventually Spider-Man gets together with Mary Jane. A bunch of stuff happens, and yeah. And I'm not really sure what's going to happen after that. Though what did happen in the 90s series was there was Hobgoblin, if basically a gray skinned, orange outfitted version of Green Goblin, and he's kind of like a devil, sort of god-ish being. Kind of hard to explain. And Yeah. So I think he was probably supposed to be introduced too. And yeah. And then I don't know, and I'm pretty sure that's all I have to say about the third, fourth, and fifth season and stuff. And I'm not sure what was supposed to happen in the movie or whatever. But I think what was gonna happen is I think what Greg Weisman and the other guys on the team of Spectacular Spider-Man, I think they're ending or whatever for that show or some kind of thing that was supposed to happen in the Spider-Man movie that they were probably gonna make was it's gonna somehow connect to the Disney's Ultimate Spider-Man where he somehow joins the Avengers and Shield or something like that and something like that happens. Then again, this was like after the Ultimate Spider-Man was like 5 years after Spectacular Spider-Man ended, and maybe throughout that time, that's how Spectacular Spider-Man was supposed to end, and then Disney somehow makes another show or something. If Disney hadn't bought off pretty much everything besides the movie rights for Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man would have still been around at least for a while longer. But I feel like if they made a movie, it's probably gonna be like stuff about Peter's life or whatever, stuff that's happened, him going up against a bunch of bad guys, and probably him going with the Avengers or something like that. That's pretty much it. And yeah. So I think that's all I have to talk about. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, again, shout out to my cousin Ramirez 848. Capital R in the Ramirez part, and then put 848. Again, he does Fortnite montages. He does Fortnite live streams. He's amazing, and I really wanted to get the subscribers that he wants and stuff. And hopefully you guys like his stuff, and also subscribe to me. Though if you don't want to, at least leave a like. I honestly don't care about the subscribers and stuff, and I don't want to be like the new YouTubers. I'm pretty sure the older YouTubers were better because they were just happy for likes, and that's kind of what I am. I don't really care about subscribers. I just want likes. That's all. Anyway, guys, see ya.